All right, so everyone's been telling me how nutty the standard meta is right now, how it's the coolest thing to ever exist, ever. So I'm out here trying to get a little taste of that for myself. So we're playing some standard. I'm using the Vicious Syndicate meta report, and I'm going from the top down. So I'm playing like the best decks, and then we're going down into tier 2. And we're gonna try to hit standard legends in a few videos here, you know, so it can be funny. Do I want any of these? I don't think so. This one? These are all bad, right? Maybe that one, I guess. It's not even good with, I was thinking because like we could play it before a corpse explosion and then we could still have something after, but it'll keep going and kill this. So yeah, not great. Not great, chat. Clear my board, I dare you. You're glad I'm playing real decks for the time being. Word. DK looks like an above average arena draft. It is a little bit like that, isn't it? They activated my thing. Why? Chat. Did they think I had a trick up my sleeve? Like, if they left the egg up, I would punish them for it by copying the death rattle so much? Because my deck does not do that. Alright, I love that I was rewarded for picking the egg. Goreblade, right? That'll be fine. Maybe this one? You're always scared of eggs personally? But like, I'm not playing a main deck, I discovered it. If I didn't discover it from the Scarab, sure, but like, I did discover it from the Scarab. Leech DK is broken, you're broken. Goreblade Moon is kind of nuts next turn. Oh, because it brings it back? I'm glad you said something, because I would have missed it. What up, Pug? Wow. My spaghetti's strange. Look at me playing Control DK. Smorking them down. Just smorking them down, chat. Just like mommy always taught us. Straight to the dome. My dread blades crave blood. Oh, they dark gifted that for extra times. Seems a little rude. I have 13. Do I have 5 damage somewhere? Do not believe I do. I can't leave that stuff up, right?
I will find a way.
Hero power is 3 damage? Oh my goodness, chat. What would I do without you guys? I would never spot a lethal. I'm not even sure I know what lethal is, by the way. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. Already platinum, look at me go. Ghoul has 2 procs of Goreblade. Whoopsies. Thanks, chat. Looks like classical mid-range. You look like classical mid-range. Is this controller mid-range? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Look at that big old eye. That's why Martians should not play real decks. It's confusing for everyone. Yeah, even me. I only know how to play squangy decks. Oh, I forgot to look up the mulligan thing. I don't know, like, is this suck DK? Like, can donkey names just have like triple blood DK or something on there? Like, why does it always have to be so colorful? I can never figure out what deck is what. Yeah, see, this isn't this. Where's blood DK on here? Okay, is this like I don't know. I guess I have to go off my intuition. Going off my intuition, chat. My intuition says none of these are jeweled scarabs, so I'll toss them. Ooh, we have a rat for turn 2. Perfect, perfect. To be fair, the base decks you play really well. Well, don't be too mean to me about standard. I'm going a whole new format. A lot of things I don't really consider have to be considered. I'm warming up to it, I think. I think I'm warming up to it. Even if you guys don't want to give me my credit. But it actually worked out quite well. I have the I had the like emergency button just in case there was something stupid, but insane rat on 2. Marshy proving once again that rat on 2 is as based as it is. Literally based on a true story. Chat, we have the forbidden card. The card that terrorizes the meta. How dare this card exist? Won't somebody nerf kill Jaden? Anybody. Surprised to see MartianBuu Paladin not performing well in standard. You know, I was expecting that to be better too. A little surprised myself. Little surprised myself. Alright, we can get rid of that using my fabled Hound Handler powers. I guess. The rest of those sicken me. No more spell discount for you. These things stick a lot easier in standard than they do in wild, I'll give them that much. Hey jelly beans. I'll miss you, my sweet leeches. You are too good for this world. Taken before your time. Taken before your Tim. My assumption is that they will trade that into the 2/2. In Smolin. Alright. How big is this Jade thing now? Based order. That order was based on a true story. A true story, chat. Card of all time, my goodness. I kind of want to play this when it'll stick, right? Is that ever gonna happen though? Are standard players bigger potatoes than wild players? Always has been. I guess, I don't know. my standard MMR is not like worse than my wild MMR. So there's that. Pretty tempted to just toss this out here, but I guess that's bad. All right, we'll nuke our own leeches, I think. Then we can play this and this next turn, and hopefully that'll result in us having some nice board control. Where is all my damage heading? The leeches never take this down, right? So we don't worry about it. I guess they could have if I'd done things a little bit differently, but at least now it trades straight up with that. Am I supposed to kill Jaden now? Oh, they're over it. Really? They're about to get a Mista Vista, right? Or was it not that big? I forget if they didn't have anything in it. Chad, can I tell you, we got some real stupids in my control Hearthstone thread. Real doofuses, if you ask me.
Listen to the drip, drip, drip.
Let me find you an example. This guy has commented on this person has commented so much in the thread. Because the devs have designed it the way to screw control players and reward simpletons. Sorry, I mean aggro players. This person has commented all over the thread with like just the stupidest crap I've ever seen in my life. This person's an idiot. Alright. It's my opinion. What cards make this triple blood? Vampiric Blood. I guess we'll take some drinks. What was the whole thread about? So the whole thread was I was just, I was doing my marshy, stirring up the pot. What's your control in Hearthstone take that'll have you like this? I was trying to trying to find some dumb things like that, I guess. I don't know. I get what I pay for. Which was spaghetti. Control players have a whole complex about people who like aggro to be simpletons. It's not even like, okay, so I don't know. It's not everybody, right? There are plenty of people with very reasonable opinions. And you also get people on the opposite end who are like, have this responsive opinion about control decks being stupid. So like, it kind of goes cyclically. When in reality, like, every archetype has like easy and hard decks to play in it, like they all do. There are definitely fast decks that are harder to play than some slow decks. Like if you're just sitting there going, I clear your board on 2, I clear your board on 3, I clear your board on 4, I clear your board on 5, and then I play Reno, like, hey, was that hard? You feel like a little smarty smart when you do that. Like, okay, it's not that tough, but I don't know. It's not something worth worrying about, right? Like how hard a deck is. You don't have to be a simpleton like that idiot is saying. You don't have to like. It doesn't have to be a negative to enjoy an easy deck. You know what I mean? Like, this game's supposed to be fun. Not everyone needs to be challenged in the same way as everyone else. Like, some people live very challenging lives and they come to this to have a good time, and just chill out, play a few quick games during the 20 minutes they have to themselves before they have to go and live the rest of their annoying life. Like, it's just like And also, like, people like that, I guarantee you, the average list that person plays is atrocious. I bet that they think that their decks require a lot of thought to play because their decks are generally horrible, and so they attribute their losses to poor design and their like wins to them being brilliant. When really they're just like, they themselves are not very smart, so they play a bunch of bad crap that sucks. That's my assumption, just because of the way the person put it. You know, like that doesn't describe control or control players broadly. That's just kind of like, you know, if someone's going to talk like that, you can kind of assume, all right, this person's not the smartest cookie in the cookie jar. That's not the threat. That's not the phrase. Speaking of people who aren't the smartest cookie in the jar, look at me go. Look at me just do this. Oh my goodness. Rewarded once again for my based plays. Now I'm going to overdraw. My cards require me to play a game of Mastermind before they hit the board. True. Deck building is a hard skill. It is and it isn't. I don't know. It's like... there's so much that's not worth, like, thinking about how skill intensive a deck is just not super worth thinking about unless you really want to play a challenging deck, right? Like, if you really want to play a challenging deck, power to you. Go ahead. This is gonna be the stupidest play ever, but I want to get rid of that stupid buddy, right? Should I just not care? What if I just play this? Do your worst, and imbue even more. I refuse to have bad tempo. I'm not gonna try playing Devil's Advocate or play Gotcha here, but what's a hard and an easy deck of each of the three main archetypes? So easy, we've got like... So first of all, the hardest decks are usually ones that don't fit cleanly into one of them. So like, for example, Darkmoon Faire Darkglare, iconically difficult to play deck. It's kind of combo, it's kind of aggro, it's kind of control, but not really any of them. Like it does not cleanly go into any of those three things I just said. And that's what makes it hard. It's a flexible deck. Like, it has a ton of decisions to make. That's why Darkglare from Darkmoon Faire was a hard deck for a lot of people to pick up. So that's my first Marshy opinion. But like, okay, so to actually answer the question, nice. An easy deck from each. So the easy control deck is hands down, that's got to be Big Priest, right? Like Darkmoon Faire Big Priest. And there's some controversy over whether that's actually a control deck, but it is, right? It just like that. This is why the conversation is so obnoxious, because some people consider control to only be the type of deck where you don't actually have any kind of cohesive win condition and you strictly play to go to fatigue. But that's just not true. Like, you run a small win con with a bunch of control tools is what a control deck is. You dedicate some space to a win con, and that's how Big Priest did. Like, they just had a bunch of reactive stuff, and then they tried to summon a taunt on turn 6 or so, and then they keep bringing the taunt back, right? Like, so you're controlling the board until, you know, what was late game at the time. And it was incredibly easy to play because it basically just came down to, did you draw the right board clears early, and did you draw Shadow Essence in a timely manner? So that's Big Priest, is the big, like, super easy control deck. I think like a hard control deck would be like, so there was a Scholomance, I believe, Dead Man's Hand, that was actually somewhat viable. Actually, yeah, it was Scholomance. And that one actually was good because it had really good clears into Darkglare, which was super broken at the time. So like, you could get away with playing Dead Man's Hand because of that. But that one you had to juggle, like, you had to juggle bouncing Zephrys like on turn 30, and so it was half decent. It wasn't like a tier 1 deck by any means, but it was like a counter meta deck, and in order to win in the late game you had to like really think about sequencing. Easy aggro deck would be like how easy aggro deck would be like, I think Questline Warrior is in contention for the easiest deck to ever exist. So like I gotta give it to that one. And then a hard one would be like, you know, Dark Moon Fair Kingsbane, I guess. Decently hard. Beast skill intensive. But Beast Hunter from Sunken City for sure. Like that was a really skill intensive aggro deck, at least comparatively. And then combo, what's a really easy combo deck? Well, we got that Exodia Horseman deck in Wild right now. That's just play Order in the Court on 2 and then win from there. For sure. So like that's a really easy one, but we have a ton of those. Like I think combo is probably the most on this side, right? Like combo has a lot of really hard decks, like, you know, Garrot Rogue from Standard. But Garrot Rogue is another one of those that kind of shifts into the like, is it really a pure combo deck, or is it like a tempo deck that has like some combos, like a combo finisher? Like, can you really just call it a combo deck? And you know, you have Alignment Mechathune, which, you know, is both extremely easy and extremely hard, because there's a bunch of APM that you have to kind of master with Alignment Mechathune Druid. But once you do, the deck just plays itself. The same thing with Pillager, right? Like Pillager is, you know, it can be tough to spot some outs. Like it definitely has like a big, or had rather, the deck is dead. It definitely has some like really hard to spot sequences, but once you kind of have the general sequences down, you're not really making choices anymore. It's just like you've learned something and now you're just belting out the script. So like I definitely describe Pillager Rogue as one of the harder ones, but also it's also very easy once you get going. Like it's very rigid in its game plan. It only does one thing. So like at a certain point, it's not hard anymore. You've learned everything there is to learn about it, and it, you know, it's over. Do you think the Ursoc skin is worth it? I really like it. Since they're Hunter Secrets, I guess they're just pass, right? Neat. Garrot Rogue is a Voltron deck? If you say so. Well, I've done that. I don't love the rest of my hand.
My blood for the Leech King.
Neat. Isn't every deck a combo deck? Yeah. So like these debates are always like, you know, Guapo I trust, you know, doesn't mean anything by it, but These debates in general I find a little tedious because, which is why I was willing to go so far with the conversation because Guapo asked me. But like, combo aggro control is not a good way to think about Hearthstone, in my opinion, because it does not properly describe enough decks. You know, like, not everything fits into those categories. And so when people talk about how like control isn't represented in the meta, meh, like, does it need to be? Like, like there are definitely, like, I don't know, like, it's not useful to categorize every deck that way, in my opinion. Like, for me, an aggro deck has to be an aggro deck. Like, not every proactive deck is an aggro deck. Like, in Magic, red deck wins is an aggro deck, but Gruul, like, good stuff, creatures, that's not an aggro deck. You know, like, it's mid-range. But also, like, I don't know, does it need to be anything? Can it just be a deck? Can't things just be a deck sometimes, chat? Like, what if things were just a deck? Does it have to be so hard? I would love to kill this. No? Unlucky. What are hard and easy tempo decks? There have been a lot of, like, quote-unquote face hunters that are just tempo decks that I think are pretty easy. Like, so easy that I can't be bothered to play them because they're kind of boring. I mean, like, tempo deck is so vague, right? Like, you know, Questline Pirate Warrior is a tempo deck. You're just a person that likes labels, for real. A hard tempo deck would be like, you know, Dark Lair. That was a hard tempo deck. Chat, I ran out of board clears. I done did it. I wasted too many board clears. Now I'm in this pickle. Oh, I could have played this first and had a free taunt. It's okay, it's always a free taunt anyway. It's okay. Nope. I'm the worst. I think people categorize it in the way to kind of understand what the goal of the deck is when talking about it. Some do, most I would say don't. I think most people use it to cram down their opinions on aggressive playstyles on other people. And like, not like, my point is, like, that's misleading. Like, it just doesn't work. We shouldn't categorize things that way. Oh, thank goodness. Finally. After all these years. Except that that's just gonna kill me, right? When Raza Benedictus was a thing, it was a combo deck, and now it's aggro. So, I don't think Benedictus Raza Priest has ever been a combo deck. Because when Raza was a, like, to me, when Raza was a combo deck, it was when it was a Polkelt into Anduin Raza deck. Like, then it was very combo-y because the deck lived or died by getting Raza and Anduin out eventually, unless you were up against aggro when the deck played like control. So it was control combo. You could outvalue an aggro deck with Polkelt Raza Priest. This was Scholomance through... it stopped being a deck in Stormwind. So Scholomance through Stormwind, Raza Priest was combo control. Then Stormwind came out and Benedictus showed up, and that's good for Raza, except that Demon Seed and Questline Pirate Warrior and Questline Hunter made Raza Priest unplayable, and we didn't see it again until fast forward to Nathria. Nathria, we saw it again with Renathal and the Thief pile. Then it stopped being a combo deck at all and started to be a pile deck, right? You would just put cards in it. And so because it had so much health, like with Renathal, you could just put in the good cards, and among the good cards was Raza and Anduin. So playing those two cards is something the deck could do, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't something the deck would do every single game like it used to be. So I'm loath to even call that a control deck, because it really was just a pile. It was just a good stuff pile. You would sometimes you would draw the early section of the good stuff and just tempo your opponent out of the game. And sometimes you would play control and you would finish them off with either Raza Anduin or with your weird thief cards that you stole from your opponent. Like it was all over the place. So I would never describe Raza Benedictus as a combo deck. It just never was. It never has been. What up, Zeno?
The citadel stands strong.
I remember playing Arena Lock, Skullman / Dark Moon Fair with Blood Reaver Gul'dan and Old N'Zoth. That was probably the best time I had in Hearthstone. I loved Arena Lock with those cards. Good times, good times. I'm sad. Like, N'Zoth is one of the cards I expected to always be good and was shocked when it stopped being good. But like, Hearthstone changed since I had that opinion. Well, this is a deck of all time, chat. I'll say that much. Adware Mayor, thank you so much for the 7 months of Prime. How are you, my friend? Thoughts on the current standard meta? Do you like it or not? So far, so fine. Yeah, it seems fine. It's a little like, it's always hard for me to play standard because I play so much wild, so there's a lot of overhead. Like in wild, I kind of have a good idea of what my opponent's up to, right? Or what I need to play around because I play so much wild. But in standard, it's like, I don't know what's going on over here. I don't know what to expect in anybody's deck. It feels easier now than it did, initially. Initially, I had no idea what my opponents were playing, but I've seen most of these decks a couple of times now, so a little bit better idea, I guess. Are there any good or helpful labels for decks? Like, so if you want to, like, so say someone wants to play control, like you say, I like control decks. So you can point them to something that fits within a control deck. Like, I don't know what a good control deck is in standard. Even Warrior, good control deck in wild, or decent at least. So like if someone wants to play control in wild, I could say even Warrior is a good control deck and point them in that direction. The other way around isn't as useful, in my opinion. So like when we're trying to find where in the spectrum a deck fits, it's not useful. That's just kind of like, having a conversation for the sake of it, like that, like where would this fit? Like that's not helpful. You've already decided you want to play the deck. Like, I mean, like, I don't know. That's reducing it, I guess, is my opinion. But maybe you get what I mean. Like, if you want to play aggro, you can point somebody to aggro Shadow Priest in wild, and that's an aggro deck, so like they'll know. But like trying to like cram something else, like I don't know, what's kind of a mid-rangey thing.
You could use a trim.
I think Call to Arms Paladin is aggro, but it's like on the border where I wouldn't want to call it that anymore. Okay, here's how it really is. Labels are as helpful as the people who are putting the labels on, right? Like if somebody as soon as someone's like, that's not an aggro deck, aggro decks are blah blah blah, like as soon as no, that's not a control deck, it has like this and this win con, you're like, as soon as we start nitpicking it, the labels stop being useful. But if you want to like, it's kind of a control-y play style or whatever, and then everyone just kind of like takes them for what they meant by it, then the labels are helpful. So I don't know. It requires people to want to be productive and not people to want to be semantic-y. You know what I mean?
Can't this thing dance any faster?
Libram Paladin is mid-rangey. Yeah, I would not describe Libram Paladin as an aggro deck, not at all. Yeah.
The citadel stands strong.
Oh my goodness, chat. Look at us go. Look at us get the Archimond. Ooh, you got wrecked by my dirty rat? That makes a lot of sense. Humans just like to put labels on things in life in general. True. Marshy played the OP overpowered War Golem. I know, standard. Yeah, I know. Brutal. Brutal. I completely forgot I was watching live and was waiting for the video to end so I could go on to do something else. Can a deck be a deck? That is a question. It is. Some decks just have vibes. I don't know. I think all decks are just. It's so much easier just to talk about decks like a deck, right? Like you don't have to talk about them like a grander archetype. Hearthstone players are obsessed with it. I also like. I come from Pokemon where they're. If something is a control deck or if something is a combo deck, it really stands out because most things are just kind of there. Like most things just try to like take 6 prizes in 3 to 4 turns, right? That's almost every deck is the same in that regard. There aren't as like distinct play styles, but every once in a while you get a control deck in Pokemon that doesn't try to take any prizes and just tries to put your opponent in a position to where they can't do anything, and like that really stands out because most of the time the decks don't play that way. So like everyone obsessing over where a deck is on the spectrum of archetypes is just very foreign to me. Chat, why are we talking about all this weird stuff? Where's the ice block nerf discussion? I know, right? I know. Look at this thing. Rude. I categorize decks into 2 things. Decks whose butt I kick and decks that kick my butt. Real. I guess I'm playing this. There were not that many things. But it's okay. Stop giving me something that makes me delete 20 of my health. I see so little hostage mage now, I don't really even think about ice block anymore. Real. What is it with Marshy talking about Hearthstone archetypes? The true MartianBuu talked about Sticky Finger in literally every video. Real. I feel like I gained a lot of following during that time period. Like there was a time period where I leaned into a little bit. People would I would mention Sticky Finger at some point in every video, just for the sake of keeping the streak alive. And that just got mentioned for like a year after that. It was funny. Nerf Feckless Apprentice can stand Immune Mage for no longer. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Chat. I wish I had the head for this horseman, you know what I mean? Personally, I think decks can be divided into 3 categories of standard, wild, and the mythical 3rd tier twist. True. Random demons will save us trust. Alright, cool, I'll trust. This time. This time, chat. Maybe I should have left that up to the... whatchamacallit. I could also just not play this turn. Alright. Thoughts on having cards? Having cards is overrated. Having cards is overrated. I got 2 Infernals through the portal. I know, isn't it brutal? It's brutal out there from the Marshy fans. How dare you cheat? How dare you know that that's the one? Filthy, sneaking cheater. That's the only explanation. Alright. Who cares that it was a 50% chance? Who cares that they were as likely to choose that one as the other? Disaster. You fight like spaghetti. Chat, is this over? Sniperino Cappuccino, yep, that's how you know. How many tier 0 decks existed in Hearthstone history? Probably less than 10. People really over-exaggerate the tiers a lot of the time. But there's also hand buff existed as a tier 0 by deck stats in Wild. That existed as a tier 0 deck, for quite a bit, and nobody played it. It was very few people were playing it, even though its win rate was showing it tier S. It's pretty funny. Some decks people just don't want to play. What's going on with this chat? Make it stop. The only true tier 0 was Demon Hunter on release. Yeah, people always mention that one, but it did not exist for long enough for the meta to develop around it. It just straight up didn't. So my big scalding Martian hot take is that people should not talk about that as a tier 0 deck, because we literally have no idea. There is no way to know. Did not exist for long enough. It could have had some crazy counter for all we know, but we'll never know, because they nerfed it right away.